Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about the technology that we use to identify the process bottlenecks and all those things that are useful in our Power Automate or the automation projects, right? So this is called like process mining. We're going to mine some processes using the data that you have available, and we're going to see like what sort of things we can automate from there, or what sort of analysis we can do on that data using the tool from Microsoft called Microsoft Process Mining. So to get this tool, you have to sign into Microsoft Power Automate. Once you sign in, you can get this process mining level over here using your community plan. So this is available free for in the community plan for the learning purpose. So once we are here, so I have some data samples downloaded. This is general data like in a CSV format. So this data is about the like a small refund or the under finance process. It's a simple refund based on different scenario. So we will find out like which vendor is having the most refunds, or which vendor is having the most high quality of the service that has been provided here. So this all data I'll upload to the process mining tool, and we can use Copilot to make some decisions over here. So let's go to the process mining. I will start with the no data. I'll upload the data myself. So this is start here. I'll click start here. So and I'll select process mining. I'll give a name demo 2, and I'll just import data and I'll continue. So I will get an option to include this report into our Power BI, but for this video I'll skip this and move to the next step. So this is another step where we have to identify, where we have to upload our data. So I'll select text or CSV format, and I'll upload files from my local that I'm uploading. It takes some time to upload data, and then once we have upload, we have a very important step after this one, where we will identify on which column of data we are going to analyze our whole process. So once it is uploaded, we get to this point. This is our next optional step. So we'll just skip this and go to next one here. But our main point is this map your data. So mapping means like we have like these three attributes that are important, that are compulsory at mapping. So we need to map them one by one. But by default, you have the process mining framework gives us this in event level attribute. So but we need case ID, activity, and event start. Right? So case ID is something like invoice ID or some common ID that will identify like this case is a different one than the another one. So for that we have a case ID in this data. So I'll keep that as a case ID. So I can also do like other unique this invoice ID as a case ID, but for I already have a case ID, so I'll just keep it that way. So what is my activity? So activity is an event like where the process change from one state to another, one stage to another. That is kind of activity. So I have an activity name column, so which I will make an activity, and I have to give an event start. So for this is like when my event start to identify that I have a start time stamp as an event start. So this way we can each identify these ones for different scenario, multi-use or single-use one here. But only that thing we need to take care of, like this single-use item, these three single-use active like attributes, we can only assign them once. So I have already assigned case ID. If I go to invoice ID, I try to assign it as a case ID, I'll have an error message. So what this means is these three things can only be once in this attribute mapping. So now I'm happy to for this mapping. You can go ahead and map these things as per your needs. But for this, I'll just save and analyze, and I'll get a flow that will show me like how the process is being flowing from one point to another, how is it being executed. It takes some time, but we'll get an we'll get a process mining framework over here. So what other thing we can do is like download process mining app. If you click here, you'll have a download CSV file, and then you have to install. So once we install that, we'll get a process mining desktop desktop app. It's here, right? So I can open that process mining. If we are signing in for the first time, if you are like opening this or using this process mining for the first time, this activity or desktop application, then we need to sign in using the same username and password over here that we are signing in here, and that will automatically put all those process mining projects from this to that. So we can edit this on the desktop application, saying that we are using over in my web, and then I'm signing as the same username, and I can get all my process that I created here over in the desktop application. So this is a it's a similar thing, but it's takes some time. So once I have the demo 2, I can open it, but it's give me some warning. But if we accept this one and if download is successful, now we just need to open it here. So a couple of things to notice here. So now this process it has been summarized for me. These are the process summarized. So average case duration is like we can get this average test self-loop cases and all those things from here. So main thing is this one, right? You can see the flowchart like a map, right, for the process. So let's go to the next one. Yeah, now we can see this is our mind process. So how many steps or how many paths do I have in my process, right? So this can be identified here. So this total have like if we go here and we see like how many paths or all those things we have here, then it says like a 10 variants, which means like 10 paths I will have for this process to complete from start to end. So let me select a variant one. So this is my first variant. This is how my some of my cases are being prosecuted or executed. So if I select a second variant, which is a different path, so this is my second variant. This is how my process is being executed from invoice entry to like refund, like full credit memo or reissuing the invoice. So these are like called the variants, all those things, and I have multiple variants available here. So this process is taking me like a 10 steps or 10 paths to complete. So there are 10 different scenario for my process to complete. So yeah, apart from this variance, we can go to the entry levels and what is going on at this invoice entry. So it shows me like total counts that passes through this one, total cases that last process is going through this, and the time duration it takes to complete that process to pass through this event, right? So let me show you some more things over here. This is not necessary. So let's just select this and this. So once we are here, we can just create like it creates an animation for us to visualize how the path is processing that. So this is how the process each of the events are going through, right? So three has been passed to this one on this way. So this takes time, but this is like something that is showing like how these events are being processed, how these events are going one by one to these different levels of events. So once all those things are we have, like we can use Copilot here, but I'll go to web and see like a couple of different variants here. So these are the 10 variants I speak about. So I select only one. If I select only this one, it will show me only one variance analyzed with the variance only one. Right? These are variant one cases, 68 cases has been passes to the variance, and five activities it has performed on those cases. Right? So these are all the analysis that we can make on the process, and we can identify the bottleneck, and we can like automate those process where we want, where the process is taking most of its time. We can like automate those things. Right? So I guess like it's taking somewhere 48 to 65 these cases. I think there's somewhere here it's taking some human time and more time. Then we can I like let Power Automate to automate this process and move forward. And that would be like easier and like a best way to achieve the effectiveness of the process. So once we go back to here, and I can just ask my Copilot to provide the top inside. So it will just give me what is happening on this process, where the bottlenecks are, and then how fast it is working. So like here the top insight from the process start on this start time, ends time, so process duration, so how many times the process take for to complete this, all those things, and all these things are already given to me by the Copilot. So once again I will identify my bottleneck. I'll just keep asking my questions to the Copilot, and it will just analyze that process and give me the best results out of it. So it has something is having some issue, but let me refresh my data, and we'll keep asking the questions to Copilot, and it will give us the answer that we are desired. To the map, you can go variant DNA. So this is a map that we are seeing also. Variant DNA is like this is one, like how many stages this variant one passes through, and all those things is shown here. Yeah. These are the stages of various like components or activity that variant passes through. And go to Copilot here. Provide top insight. Complete customer memo. Longest running activity is complete customer memo. So this is at this point, right? So this is taking longest time for us. So we can automate this one using Power Automate, because if it is taking long human time, we can identify like where it is, like where it can be automated and where all those things can be done. 24, 24 hours or 24 days. So this type of identification or analysis we can do over in the process. So how to identify my bottlenecks is the next question that I want to provide. So yeah, these are the identify bottlenecks. You have to create a filters. You can create filter based on different use cases or different activity or cases over here. So yeah, that is one the Copilot is. That those the Copilot answers and that they have provided. But if you are like good at like prompting, then you can ask your different prompt questions, which will make sense to the process. And depending on your process knowledge, you can ask Copilot to extract something or to identify something in the process. So this is what the Microsoft Power Automate process mining is. It's a simple framework. You just have to put data and just have to give like uh, those attributes mapping and all those things, and it's saved over here. Right? So once you think you want to change something, then you can go back to setup, and you can re-identify or remap these attributes to the attribute names. So that is how it's been done so far. So if you like this, it accepts different framework, different like data types. Like you can connect to Azure, you can connect to SQL Server, and you can connect to Excel and every different type of data source. So that will help you to analyze your process. That will help you to make decision during your process, and it gives a sense like how we automate this process, and then where we need to focus more on the process. So that is all the process mining in your Microsoft Power Automate is. So thank you for watching the video.